The key differences between the two albums, I would have to say, are well, the first record deals primarily, as we just were talking, the first record deals with that angst, with the release of being tied down and being tried to cut free of it. The second record is more heavy themed. The second record has a lot to do with death, and that's why it's called In Love and Death. It's primarily with losing people and losing friends and losing family and getting on with it and understanding what death is, and everybody will have to go through that. It's one of the most important things in life, really, is mistakes and death. It's been too long. I can't really remember too much about that record and recording and whatnot. Like I said, there was a lot of loss. There's a lot of loss that happened during that record, which definitely made the record more intense. It definitely stretched the recording time out a lot, which, that's how it goes. The good thing during recording that record is the engineer that we recorded with, his name was Matt Appleton. He ended up playing on our next record. He recorded In Love and Death, and he recorded Lies for Liars. He was just the engineer. But he ended up playing horns on one of our songs on that record. And we just played a live acoustic version of it, and he came out and played live with us, which is really fun. But now he's in Real Big Fish, which is cool too. So before I'm a Fake, there's a poem that Bert wrote. I'm not sure if he intentionally intended it for a song, like you were saying, but I think it was just a poem that was just there. Bert writes a lot, and he's very obsessed with words, and he's very obsessed with how words work and how they fit together and stuff like that, which is a great quality for a singer, And he wrote that poem. I don't think not really knowing what it was intended for, and it fit best as just a poem. Like, why try to cut it up and make a song out of it? Put it in the front of I'm a Fake and make something of it, And it turned out so well that a lot of our fans can recite that word for word, that poem. And it works out on these kind of tours, like since we're playing In Love and Death today, when that poem comes up right before I'm a Fake, Bert turns to the crowd and has the crowd recite that entire poem, just word for word. And it's crazy because there's so much emotion involved in that you wouldn't, it's hard to imagine people reciting words without music and being so inspired by it and so aggressive about it in the most amazing way, And there's a clip on YouTube about a fan that we had in, I think it was Amsterdam or somewhere over there in Netherlands, and she did the poem herself. It was just her on stage, and it was actually one of the most heartfelt moments on these tours to watch one fan say the words word for word and have so much heart behind it that it felt like a punch in the face in a positive way. It's so heavy.
This is not a small gun, it's gas and dries and flames and heals, and I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to bleed and fuck and fight.
Looking back on the term Screamo, it's hilarious. I feel like genres come up just to describe bands, you know what I mean? Of course. I feel like that emo, Screamo, that whole scene kind of came from its own scene somewhere else where they're, I could be wrong on this, so don't judge me completely, but I feel like they had brothers that were in hardcore bands or post-hardcore bands, and they had friends that were in these kind of bands, and it was a scene that grew up that altered and changed. We grew up playing with metal bands and ska bands all on the same night. You know what I mean? It would be like any band that would play, pop punk band, metal band, ska band, whatever, and then there was us, you know what I mean? So when we could play shows, it was just a mutt of bands playing together, and that was our scene, And so we've never claimed emo or Screamo or post-hardcore or whatever. We've only claimed rock, because I feel like when you take bands like Faith No More and Guns N' Roses and I can't think of any other bands like that anymore, but bands that are like that were just rock bands too, and they play any kind of music you can think of. There's mellow, there's heavy, there's soft, and we've tried to stay similar, just be ourselves.